Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Heart Breathings. It is almost 2026. We are on the cusp here. I'm recording this on the 26th. So if you celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a wonderful time with your family. We had the best time. I have taken several days completely off, didn't even check emails or social media at all yesterday. So thank you to all of my Heart Breathings community hosts and admins who were taking care of the Facebook group. I just needed a break. And now I am looking ahead to, we have less than a week until New Year's. And it is time to really settle in and say, okay, what's going to be different about next year? And so what we're going to do today is it's probably going to be a long video. So I've got my coffee, maybe grab your own coffee, grab your planners. Let's chat for a while because we're going to be setting up my personal planner, my health and fitness, mental, I don't know exactly what to call this. I will talk about what I think I'm going to call it in a minute, but for lack of a better explanation, it's a health and fitness mindfulness planner. And I'm going to use Erin Condren planners, but I'm going to Frankenplan, meaning like Frankenstein. I'm going to take many different planners and notebooks. Listen, this is the stack. I cannot wait to show you the things that I got for Christmas and various others like the Hello Kitty planner. I'll explain to you kind of what I'm using and how I'm going to use it because I have stacks of stuff here. And we're going to take it all apart. I'm going to use like a jewelry tool to uncoil this planner, take all the guts out. I will pick one of the coils. So I have multiple coils to choose from, which by the way, Erin Condren comes with for free a platinum coil, the silver coil. But if you are now ordering from their website, if you haven't heard the news, you can now also get the rose gold coil for free, no upgrade charge. It might still, I think on their website, it'll still say $10 until you go to the checkout. But in the past, if you get anything other than this platinum coil, you have to pay $10 to get the gold coil or the multicolor coil, which looks like this. They used to have a black coil. Please bring back the black coil. But to get gold, rose gold, etc., you had to pay an extra $10 premium. But now the rose gold coil is free, just like the silver coil. So that's exciting. Hopefully we'll get the black coil back. Let me know in the comments if you're team black coil. But anyway, I'm going to pick which coil I want to use. And then I'm going to go through all these different notebooks and planners, and I'm going to put them together for a new planner that is customized to a degree. I also last year bought a coil binding machine that basically punches out the coil. I will link it down below. It was about $100, but I have used it all year long with the Erin Condren coils. It also comes with its own spirals that you can use, etc. And I have taken some thin vellum as well as some, to be honest, kind of cheap photo paper. And so the quality is not incredible, but it is inexpensive. I have gotten my 2026 vision board together, some pictures of the family and things that I want to bring into my life or remember in 2026. So I've got this little stack of extras that I want to add to my planner and coil those in. And we are going to create a mindfulness, health and fitness journal, planner, whatever. It's a Franken mashup. But let's talk about the reason why I'm creating this. So in previous years, I have used many, many different planners and notebooks, and I still will be using multiples because it is really impossible for me. If you're new here, my name is Sarah. I have two children. One is going to high school in 2026 and one is in kindergarten. So we have a busy life with just the family, but also I run multiple businesses. I have an Etsy shop. I teach many courses. I have 2 YouTube channels, 2 Instagrams. I'm a full-time author. I've got a lot that we'll just say my life is very full and I love all of it, but I could not possibly keep all of the things that I need to do in one planner. So, and I prefer using paper planners. I could keep it probably all in Notion or Asana, but I like using paper planners because out of sight, out of mind, I need something physical to write on to think. However, what has happened for me over the past probably, I think, so this February will be 8 years since I started Heart Breathings. So exciting. I cannot believe it's been 8 years, but then again, it's like what even was life before heart breathings existed. It's so wild. But we'll be celebrating 8 years in February. So for those 8 years, I have been managing two full-time businesses. And I really have tried to be as mindful as I can about not extending myself beyond what is a healthy boundary. And some years I have been more successful than others. However, even with trying to be mindful and still exercise and take care of myself, I think that what happened this past year was I realized that this one illness in 2024, at the end of the year, I got pneumonia and I didn't have enough buffer time in my schedule to take the time off that I really needed for that particular illness. And I think that what had been happening was each year I was overextending myself just a little bit more than I was refilling myself, which meant that there was a kind of health or energetic debt. And so then I would go into the next year with a little bit less energy than I had the year before, but just as much, if not more, work to do. And I was taking vacations. I was trying to game, read, take care of my health. However, that little bit of debt each year compounded when I hit that illness last year. And just, I won't say everything fell apart, but it just made for a really difficult year in 2025. And I had to take an entire month off in June. But that even, it was restful in some ways, but we were traveling family road trip. So it was emotionally, spiritually, family wise, joy wise, very fulfilling. Rest wise, though, like true rest, not as much. So I've been taking time here the last week to rest, but I need to build in more rest in 2026 so that I am not continuing to overcommit. Also, every time I hit a milestone birthday, it means so much to me. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you feel this way too, that like I changed my entire life when I was turning 30 because I had this realization of this cannot be my life. I am not at all the person I meant to be. And so I made huge changes when I turned 30. When I turned 40, we decided to have another child. I started heart breathings. Like so many things have changed on those big milestone birthdays for me. And I have another one coming up. So in January, I will turn 49. And so that gives me 1 year until my 50s. And I also find myself as I start to get introspective, thinking through that big milestone birthday, I'm thinking through who do I really want to be moving into the second half of my life, into my 50s, into this age where this is the decade that my kids will leave the house and that so many things in my life will change. And I have these big goals I still haven't realized for myself and for my writing. And so I'm just going through this period of introspection, like what needs to fall away? What do I need more of? What do I need to stop doing? And I think I do that every new year anyway, but it's just been extra amplified this year. And part of what I came down to was realizing that I still spend so much more time and energy on other people. How can I help people? How can I serve people? Who needs me? My kids, the house, just everything outside of my own just joy for the sake of joy or refilling for the sake of refilling. And I know there are so many of you that just nodded your head like, yes, I give so much. And it's so hard to say that because I don't mean like, oh, I'm this selfless person who never does for myself, because obviously that's not true either. But it's just this imbalance of I'm always thinking about either what can I do for others or putting other people's needs and desires above my own instead of just reading for the sake of reading, even just putting my business and my income and my subscribers and things like that above myself. I still sometimes am answering emails from people at 11 o'clock at night, even though I've tried to set boundaries against that. I've had such a hard time with some of those boundaries because I feel like, oh, somebody paid for a course, I need to answer them immediately. And so this year, 2026, is going to be all about how can I create and carve out space for myself to just love myself for the sake of joy, not for the sake of income or growth or subscribers or serving anybody else, but just purely for reading, meditation, healing myself, getting back to joy, getting back to a place of feeling centered and grounded just for myself. And that feels a little bit uncomfortable. It feels a little bit foreign. but I know it's the path forward for me. And so I'm creating a planner today that is going to put that front and center, one dedicated space, because with running so many businesses and having a full, beautiful life, I love my life. I can't keep track of that in my daily planner. It needs to be something separate that I say, okay, this is a routine that I follow. And this is going to be where I track things like exercise, meditation, my spiritual journey, my uh, like friendships, my reading, the ways that I'm refilling the well, the ways I'm taking care of my body, taking care of my mental health. It's all going to go into this planner. I love Erin Condren planners. So everything I have on this desk is basically an Erin Condren planner. And we're going to frankenplan this. So like I said, we're going to take the coils apart and we're going to pick which things from previous planners that I've taken apart, like I have in my closet, just stacks of notebooks and various things that I have used and taken apart over the years. I like to redate things if I need to, those kind of, just random things. And I have two brand new planners for 2026 that I'm going to pull apart and use. So let's go through all the things I'm going to use. One, and I will take these covers off if you've never used an Erin Condren planner before. One of the things I love is there's these sort of hard laminated covers and you can change them out. So it's sort of like changing your planner's clothes to match the season. So anyway, the academic planner, I got the colorful academic, and some of these pages I probably will not use, but the main layout of this planner is basically like a vertical planner where you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday through Saturday and Sunday share a day. And then you've got these little boxes for subjects on the side. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 subjects, and then a checklist at the bottom. So I bought these stickers from Hip Digi Chick. She's my favorite sticker creator on Etsy who does like labels for the teacher planner, academic planners. So these are the ones that are like 1 inch, I think, and it matches pretty perfectly. It's not exact because it's not quite as thick, but it does work. There are actually the little boxes on both pages, but I don't want to use up that many stickers, but I might alternate and put 1 week here and 1 week here so that it doesn't just end up with a huge stack of stickers that creates a bump in my planner. I mean, it'll still happen, but I don't need to put them twice. So here's the different things that will go. We've got mindful. So here is where I will track the sort of meditations that I'm doing or the spiritual books I'm reading, or if I have therapy that day, that goes in mindful. Organized. So you'll see this is a bit of a rainbow. So organized, we can go ahead and put this one in. This will be part of my mental health this year is going to be a goal to organize my home. And I did substantial work with this. I hired organizers to come in. So the places where there are drawers or closets, those places got very organized and somewhat like the office one that I'm in right now. That closet is trashed. I need to do that entirely again. But all my work drawers and my closet in my other room, perfect. Bookshelves, perfect. Some of the toy places, we've been able to keep with that for 2 years. But the organizers didn't touch my bathroom and my main bedroom closet or my like main bedroom and the game room. And so those spaces, they still need a lot of work. So I am trying to create better systems. And I know some of you are going to be brand new to this video, but some of you have been around for a while. I officially have complex PTSD, CPTSD. And the more I learn about that, I'm realizing so many of my own behaviors come from that PTSD as childhood. So without going too much into it, part of it is this clutter that I carry in my home. The inability to keep things organized is actually part of CPTSD. And I didn't realize that. I always thought it's just I'm a messy person and I can't keep my house together. But it actually is defense mechanisms against some of those things. And so as I work through them, I'm trying to also create systems to not over purchase, not over clutter, and to find some comfort in organization instead of comfort in the mess. And so, yeah, this is a bit personal, but we're going to work on it. It's going to be a work in progress. And That'll come up in the title of this sort of vlogging that I'm going to do for this. But anyway, I also have the word badass here. So the organized will be what place in my home I am currently working on or cleaning or organizing. Badass is very much like, what am I doing to work on my confidence? So this could be taking an action. I don't anticipate that I'm going to have something for every single day, but this will just be an eagle eye view of the week of what am I going to do. So I might do something mindful every day. I might clean something every day, but the badass might only have a couple of things throughout the week. But this is basically badass is just an attitude of, how can I be brave? How can I do something? So this sometimes goes toward finance stuff too, of it would feel really badass to be better at investing or more confident when it comes to talking to the bank or talking to a loan officer or an insurance person or whatever. I just always shrink away from some of those conversations like financial planning or other things like that. And so I want to just get better at feeling confident enough to talk to that, or even just reaching out to somebody that I was nervous to say something to, or going out and trying something new. Like I would love to try all kinds of new date nights and things like that. And so that's going to all go into badass. Then we have yellow, which is healthy. And if you notice, these are words that sort of embody how I want to feel. I want to feel mindful. I want to feel organized. I want to feel badass. I want to feel healthy. So I have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. I was diagnosed a long time ago, 1996. And I have been in various states of managing that. And this past year, after the pneumonia, not resting actually caused, I did rest, I just didn't rest enough, caused so many problems with my PCOS throughout the year. And it took us a while to really even get to a doctor who understood that that was the reason why, and that was the root of it. And so we're working on various things, but I have had a lot of behind the scenes issues going on with my health this year, and I would like to continue to improve that and work on them. So healthy, uh, beautiful. So this is just also sort of a mindset thing. And this could be, for me, beautiful is just, it's a way I want to feel. It's a way of taking care of my body, like even just waxing my eyebrows or putting lotion on, taking care of my skin. That all feels so healthy and beautiful kind of go together, but just a little bit of pampering in the beautiful side of it, getting my hair done, taking care of my skin, taking care of my body, dressing nicely in a way that makes me feel comfortable, getting rid of clothes that no longer fit or that aren't a good fit, things like that. Then inspired. So this is all about, how am I refilling the well, right? So this will be, I'm reading this, I'm watching this, I'm gaming, I'm doing those kind of things. This will be all of that sort of fun stuff. And sometimes the badass might go there too. Like if George and I decide we're going to play a video game together and it's something that makes me feel empowered. I don't know. Some of this sounds silly as I'm saying it out loud, but hopefully no judgment. But inspired, that could be a quote that I heard, it could be an action that I'm taking, and then aware. So the awareness, I want to be aware. This is going to be really a feeling space of, how was I feeling today? How was my mood today? Why was it being this way? What was working, what isn't working. So I might put things here like how much screen time versus how my mood was, whether I went outside for a walk. And I can kind of, because it's the last block on this page, I think I can kind of begin over time to recognize patterns of, okay, I didn't work out today on the healthy. I didn't do any meditation. I Instead of feeling like a badass, I cowered to somebody who left me a negative comment over here, or wasn't refilling my well for days. So no wonder I'm feeling blah, or I feel depressed, or I feel disconnected, or whatever. And this will be a place to just sort of write at the end of the day how I feel about my life in general. And I can begin to pick up those patterns of, well, no wonder I am aware now that I feel depressed because I haven't cleaned anything in days and the bedroom's getting messy again. And I'll be able to take notes on things like that. Like, even though I thought I was doing this, I'm struggling over here. The checklist at the bottom, to be honest, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So let me know if you have any suggestions on this checklist piece at the bottom. This could just be, I don't really want to do a checklist of things to do because they should be all up here. This could be meals and a snack or meals and water, something like that. I don't want to habit track on this because I'm going to be habit tracking in my pocket planner. So I just don't know. I may not use this. I may cover it with washi tape. We shall see. I'm not going to stress about it too much, but that will be my weekly awareness and other things. Now, what will I do on the weekends? No planner can be perfect, right? So the weekends have these little boxes instead of being able to follow the mindfulness, whatever. So I think that on the weekends, I will have to experiment to see what works best for me because truthfully, the majority of the organizing, like the cleaning stuff, might happen on the weekends. So I don't know exactly. The weekend days might end up being something that I just do a dot, like a little dot. If I do something mindful, I put a little pink dot here. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on it. But this planner is really bright and colorful and beautiful, but I don't think that I will be using these tabs because I'm going to use the tabs that come from here. Also, by the way, with Hip Digi Chick stuff, you can use these in the teacher planner. She has a different set of them. And I think you can use these in multiple different like plum paper planners, etc. But you can choose to either get a sheet that has lots of colors or individual color, custom color sheets. And so I did her rainbow colors and each sheet has like 30 something, 30 in here. So this won't quite last me 52 weeks, but if I don't stick with it, then I didn't overbuy stickers. But if I do stick with it, I'll just reorder these again. All right, so the second planner that I know I'm going to be using as the main guts of this planner is the Hello Kitty planner. The cover is new this year, but everything else is the same except they changed the dates. But I love this planner. It is absolutely adorable. I'm a huge Hello Kitty Sanrio fan, and so I want to use this. I'm going to use this vellum. I'm going to use the front pages, all of it. And I will be using these tabs because I just love this as well as the Hello Kitty pages here. So I won't use the monthly spreads. I'll use this. But part of putting together a Franken planner is really that decision making between which pieces am I going to use. And I've made the mistake in previous Franken planners of just putting in both monthly spreads and then I never use them. So we're only going to use this one Hello Kitty monthly spread. Another thing that I will need to sort of decide as I go along is, do I want to try to set this up for the entire year or just for 6 months? And again, I will not fully know that until I take these apart. These two planners are both using a 12-month coil. Erin Condren has two sizes of coil. They have three because they have like the notebook size. Then they have the 12-month coil. And then slightly bigger than the 12-month coil is the 18-month coil that fits the 18-month planners. And sometimes it is hard for me to tell the difference because it is pretty subtle, but you can see it here. This is an 18-month. This is a 12-month. So I'm definitely going to set it up with an 18-month coil, but I think I could be wrong. I think that this is an 18-month coil. It's like when you put these together, I'm fairly certain this one is an 18-month. And I really I love the rose gold coil. I love the gold coil. I'm not a huge fan of the platinum coil most of the time, but this coil has my heart. This multicolor coil makes me happy. And so I think I'm just going to use it because it brings me joy. Now, I have already taken it apart multiple times and used it this was my HB90 planner or gold planner for 2025. But I'm going to take it apart and I'm going to use that coil. I'm pretty sure. I was kind of debating between these two, the rose gold coil and the multicolor. But the more I just think about it, the more I'm like, what will I want to reach for? The multicolor coil. So I'm going to take this apart and I don't really need, I know I get the question all the time, what do you do with your old planners? And to be honest, if I have lots of pages like this that don't have stickers or other things that can't be recycled, I just recycle it. I don't really need the previous year's stuff. Anything I need for tax stuff goes into my Google Calendar. So sometimes I recycle as much as I can. If it has too many stickers or whatever, I might put it on a different coil and keep it for memories or other things like that. If it's notes that I have, like a lot of notes about my books or stories, I keep those things, but a lot of stuff I take apart. Okay. Many of you said in my previous planner setup for the A5 that you like to see the process. You like to hear me talk through the process. Some of you like voiceovers, but most of you said the longer the better. So we're just going to make this a long day after Christmas video. I hope that you all had a wonderful time with your family. Hold on, something just fell. I had a wonderful day with my family. We went to the hotel, the Gaylord Texan, for 3 days, and we just had the best time. The kids are like, especially because I know Andrew's only going to be home with us for a few more years, going to high school next year. I think we're just trying to make the most out of it. And we just had a great time. And Evie is kind of in that peak state right now of she's 6. And so Christmas just feels so magical. And it's really fun as a parent to watch that. But one of the gifts that I got for Christmas, now I picked this out myself. How many, raise your hand if you also pick out some of your own gifts. But Erin Condren, for their 2025 Black Friday stuff, did a day of buy one, get one half off notebooks. And I use these notebooks all the time. I don't always use them like this. I pull them apart, put them in FRANKENPLANNERs or larger coils, etc. But I love the fact that you also get to pick a different notebook cover that you can move around between them. Sorry for the glare, but I need the lights. But I got several 2026 covers just to swap around on this planner I'm going to be using. So one, I just got this lilac color with 2026. This is a graph paper notebook. Then I also got the pink meeting. So this is a meeting notebook. Many of you will know that I use this for mostly my Accelerate Mastermind meetings. So I got 2026 cover for that notebook. I'm actually using a different notebook that I already have started, and I'll use that up before I'll use this one, but I will take the cover off and go put it on that one. I also love this stripe cover. You can choose your 2 colors and you can choose your words. So this would be a cool one to do for like a word of the year for your branding, or if you're an author, making that author brand your 2 colors with your name. It's just kind of neat. They do often have these little plastic bits on their covers still. George hates those. Anyway, this is a monthly project notebook. I already have, you'll see some of the guts of a previous one, so I won't take this one apart, but I love this project notebook. I'm probably going to use this in some of my house cleaning stuff that's going to go into this health and wellness one. But you have project details, important dates. Then you have the status and what you're focusing on for 5 weeks. So this is basically like a month dashboard of that project. So for me right now, the main project I'm working on is redoing my closet and going through all the drawers in my bathroom and reorganizing. I already am in progress. I took 6 huge bags of donations of clothes prior to Christmas to a women's shelter. And I am very excited to declutter and to pass. A lot of those clothes still had tags on them or were only worn once. So hopefully those will be used well by somebody else. But I am in progress of trying to clean some of that clutter up from myself and pass on things that I'm not using. So I could very clearly say, like, bathroom, closet, that kind of thing project. List out all the things I want to do. And then this week I'm focusing here, this week I'm focusing here, and so on. And so I think that I will put some of these pages into my health and wellness planner. Then my word of the year 2026 is sovereign. And I just put some photos of both of my brands, my Heart Breathings brand and my author brand here. And this is just a lined notebook. And then I also got another lined notebook with this cute Hello Kitty. They have this Hello Kitty and you can just put any color in the background. It's so cute. And then I also got their photo one with the dot grid paper of when we were on our epic road trip. We went to my alma mater and oh my gosh, it's just, she's such a little ray of joy and it just makes me so happy. So all of us together here and just me and Evie on the front. And those are the notebooks that I got. So they were buy one, get one half off. Plus I had some credits. And so 6 new notebooks to be able to frankenplan or use throughout the year. I do actually have this horizontal layout one that I feel like the horizontal layout could be really good for journaling. And so there's a temptation in me if I set it up for the 2020, the first half of the year, like if I did a 6 month and a 6 month, could I also fit this third weekly spread in? There's a temptation. Number one, because this works out so well for putting a little picture here. I have one of those Canon IB photo printers. You could also use stickers for this. You could also track your mood, and this would be great. So I have that little space of awareness, but also I could do a morning journal or some other thing like that. But also, if you were at my 2026 planner lineup video, if you watched that, I'm also trying to simplify how much time I have to spend, because if I want to be writing and reading and journaling and doing all the things, I can't spend so much time in my planners. So, and the thing about an A5 binder is you can just put in pages whenever you want. But if you're going to coil stuff, it takes a lot of time to take it apart. So there needs to be a thought process of, what do I want to do here? Do I want to coil this, uncoil it? Do I want to put these pages in? Do I not want to? And because I've been making my own Franken planners for over a year now with my HB90 system, there are so many pages that ended up not getting used because I ended up not needing them. And that felt frustrating. I know in the grand scheme of things, it's not really that important, but I do feel like there would be something comforting and nice at the end of the day when I fill out my 5-year notebook to also come in here and just journal about my mood for the day. And like I said, that is already what I'm planning to do in this aware space. But even just talking through it with you guys right now, I'm realizing this is enough to put my mood, but it is not enough to fully go through and disseminate this information and be like, well, I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I could think through it in my head, but I wouldn't journal it. This will be TBD as to whether I would use this. But if I use this, then I will basically have 3 different planners in one. So it would be these pages every single week. So there would be a monthly spread. So we'd go through it. There would be the monthly spread here, which, what do I write on the monthly spread? Maybe my steps or something, but maybe there's nothing that goes on the monthly spread. I don't even know. This could just be truly the schedule. Like this is the schedule for my personal life, whereas HB90 is my schedule for my business life. I don't know. For the weeks, which I didn't even go over this, many of you know that for several years now, I have been trying to keep up with weekly memory keeping and have failed spectacularly. Last year, out of 52 weeks, I maybe did, I don't even know for sure, 20 weeks of memory keeping. And so it doesn't feel complete because you have more than half are empty pages. And it's just like, I am the kind of person, it's like, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it well. But I just didn't always have time to do it the way I wanted to do it. So it's got to become, I've got to figure out a better way. But I did set up, this is a large photo album that came off of Amazon. It came in a 2-pack. I don't think they have this size anymore, but it fits the sticker kits just about perfectly. And I went through actually last year and labeled them 1 through week 52 and decided seasonally, going through all of my stickers that I have collected. I don't even think I bought any sticker kits like this, like Erin Condren size sticker kits last year, because I just have so many from previous year's subscriptions and buying, just overbuying. I still have so many, even more than these, of years of hoping that I would keep up with it. You guys, it's like a shameful moment of my life. And they're so beautiful. And sometimes I go through like a feeling of they're so pretty. I don't want to put them in my planner because I don't want to mess them up or like use them. But that's why I have them, is to use them. And so this year it's gonna get done. And So I have them arranged. This is a Nikki +3 Happy New Year one. Then I have a Wicked one. The week for my birthday is a Gamer Girl one. I have one for Evie's birthday. I have summer, winter, Christmas, like they're, Halloween. They're all in here. So my plan is this is just a real quick jot down every day of this is what I'm going to do. I won't pre-plan this. This will just be every morning when I get ready with my coffee in the morning. I'm going to say, here's the things I'm going to do for these pieces, or it will be a done planner. So for example, I might know that I want to do some mindfulness, but I'm not going to pre-plan it. I'm actually going to track it after it's done. So if I sit down and at lunchtime, I do a 20-minute meditation, I will then mark it here. If I end up cleaning the bathroom on a break between writing sprints, I will just mark it down. So this will mostly be less of a plan, more of a tracker after the fact. Then here, I will take those. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is 3 days away. And this is the beginning of Q1. Oh my gosh, I just cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. But I would take this sticker kit, the Happy New Year sticker kit, put it in here and just have so the way I'm planning to use this is to go through and either be listening to an audiobook or watching a show or movie with George. And I have a space set up in my bedroom where I can just take this, it's like a bed desk, and all my supplies are going to be right there in a cart, like a rolling cart right by the bed. And for me, this has been one of the most important ways to stick to routines is having all of my stuff in one location where it's easy to just grab it and put it and do it. Um, so that will be the plan. And I'm going to use my Canon Ivy, and it's right there in my bedside table. And I will just print the stuff out and glue it in and done, using the sticker kits, etc. So what am I going to track here? This is going to be all the fun family memories, gaming, stuff like that. So like here I have the like healthy badass aware, but on this spread, this is where I'm going to track like George and I are looking at playing another MMORPG, which many of you may know this. I'm a gamer girl at heart. George, my husband, and I, we just celebrated last week 16 years married. Yay. And we met playing an MMORPG massive multiplayer online role-playing game called EverQuest 2. That game does still exist, but it's very low priority, very low population. We've tried to go back and play it again, but we just don't have the time. We've played World of Warcraft in the past. We've played Final Fantasy in the past. So we were looking at playing maybe something new like Elder Scrolls Online, not a new game, but would be new to us. If you play an MMORPG that you like, could you please put it down in the comments? Because I would love to hear anything that you might have to say. But this is part of me taking care of my mental health, is having gaming time, reading time that isn't attached to something that I am recording for other people or trying to use to build my business. It's just for me, just purely for fun. And maybe that sounds ridiculous to you, but I haven't been doing that for myself. Everything has always been, let me record it, let me try to grow, let me do this for other people, let me show this to, show it to somebody else. I don't know how to explain it. It sounds ridiculous when I talk through it, but maybe it makes sense to some of you. Anyway, I may still show you this planner, but I am not going to be gaming for other people's enjoyment. I'll just be gaming for my own enjoyment. I don't know. Please let me know if you understand what I'm talking about, because it sounds ridiculous and selfish or something when I talk about it. Because who doesn't do things they like doing? I don't know. I've just become a workaholic to a degree because my goals are so important to me. But this is the year I find more balance. And I really and truly think that finding the balance and doing less for my business will mean that my business grows faster. Oh, also, I got this for our anniversary. Speaking of our anniversary, I got this Aura ring. If you were wondering what this is, it goes on this finger, but if I'm particularly bloated, like after Christmas food, it can also fit on this finger. But this is a fitness tracker. I do have my watch, but this tracks more stress and cycle and other things like that. So I will also be using that online data in this whole system. But anyway, I will be using these stickers and this over here to just very quickly every night mark what did we do for the game? Any little quotes and fun things. I used to track that stuff a little bit more, but like, what book am I currently reading? How many chapters did I get done? Just so I have a place that I can see where am I refilling my well. So I'm going to be doing those two for sure. So then do I also need this third place? Or is it too much to have 3 different weekly spreads that I'm tracking different things? This would obviously be more the journaling side of it. And I don't know if I need this or not. Some of you are probably screaming at the screen one way or the other. We'll see how it goes. I can always uncoil it and figure it out. But anyway, I do also have this stack of previous planner things that I have pulled apart. So I had an undated one that does have a habit tracker because I thought, well, maybe I'll add a habit tracker. But then as I was thinking through it, it's like, no, I don't need a habit tracker here because I will be tracking my habits in my pocket planner, which I'll be setting up maybe tomorrow. That video is coming soon. So I don't think I need those pages. I do have also these checklist pages, which I think I will use just to do gist days. So if you're not familiar with gist, I got this originally from Kaylin Nicholson, one of my favorite YouTubers. GYST means get your shit together. And so gist days is basically you have an entire Saturday, you make a list and you just get all that stuff done, like the errands you need to run, the cleaning you need to get done. And I like using these types of checklist pages for that. So this came, I think, from the one of the project style notebooks. So I might take those pages and kind of combine them in a way that I could use that. Then here's that same project one that I was showing you in one of the new notebooks, but these are previous pages that I have. I don't think I need a lot of these, but I do want to use them for the cleaning stuff. So I will probably use some of those pages. And then I have various other pieces of previous planners, like this is a notebook from one of the Hello Kitty notebooks, so I might use some of those pages. Then I also have this perpetual calendar at the top that I could use for notes, as well as some of these productivity pages. So the productivity pages are basically similar to that list type stuff or projects where you have checklists down here and here. So lots of different things to choose from and pull in. And so what we're going to do now that we're like, I don't know, 40 minutes into this video is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, before I take apart that horizontal planner, I'm going to take these two apart so that we have an idea of how many pages we're going to use. And this process is not always fun to do on camera because I have to hold it away from my body, and it's better if I can pull it against my body. So I might just show you part of the process, but basically you can just take any pliers. The ones that are jewelry pliers tend to work better because they don't scratch the gold or whatever as much. But you know what? I am not a precise person when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I just don't usually care too much if my coil gets a little bent. But you will want to move, just one goes out of the way, and then the other one needs to somewhat be moved into the shape of the coil to be able to pull these things off. And so once you get it pretty good, you can just start to uncoil it. And it's pretty simple. But like I said, it's a lot easier to do off camera, but I think this is working okay. If you find that you start to pull it apart and you can't, like you're damaging the paper, you can just keep working with your pliers to straighten that out to where it looks like the main part of the coil. But otherwise, you just bend one side, put the other one in the coil shape, and unspiral. Three planners uncoiled, and I'm going to move the stickers out of the way, and we're going to start to put this back together. I don't really think I need many of the pages from this. Most of these are going to be recycled. I do have these little dividers that came They're in a 3-pack, but I think instead of using these clear ones, I think I will use some of them. I love this Color Blends pocket, so I might use that one. But I think in terms of the pockets, if I'm going to use any, I'll use these 3 because I love these colors. This was sort of a planner slash notebook that I put together when we were on the road so that I didn't have to take any of my big planners. And this really worked out well as just a place to take notes. And again, it's an Erin Condren coil that oh my gosh, you guys, I was looking for these stickers. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that I just saw those and found them. But this was a great way to take some of those notebooks that come on a typical coil like this and put them on a planner coil so that I had a bigger notebook. So little hack there, so to speak. We have all the little pieces. These need to be cleaned because they have sticker residue on them, but these will just pop in the little coil so you can put them anywhere you want. And then we have the academic planner, the things that I made myself. I will link this vellum paper and stuff down below. And then this one. So even though I love the gold foiling and the stars, orange is my least favorite color in the world. And I don't think I'm going to use that pocket because of it. I wish it was more pinks, but we are going to use this coil. How big it is. Oh, because it's definitely an 18-month coil. Like when you put them together, you can see that this one is bigger. So we're going to use the 18-month coil. And what I'm going to start to do to try to decide how much I'm putting on this coil is I'm just going to start piecing it together. And I'm going to talk you through the process of how I'm choosing which pages. So let me double check how you guys are seeing this. And here's what we're going to do. Not thinking about the cover, which can be changed. We're going to evaluate each page and just say, do I want this to go in the planner? So I definitely love this vellum. I did also make this 2026, which I think would be very cute if I wanted to do that instead of the Hello Kitty one. But I think I'm going to leave it like that just because this Hello Kitty is so pretty. And we're going to leave this in there. Then we do have this. So I could put the 2026. I just made this in Canva and actually shared the file for it in my A5 setup if you want to change the color and print it yourself. So I could put that there, which would be kind of fun to just have it in the middle of this 2025-26 calendar. What am I going to do with this page? You guys, this page with the 12 boxes is in every Erin Condren planner. I don't know if it's in the academic planner, but it's in all of their life planners. And I never use it, but I do feel like this would be such a good dashboard space to put how the progress of each month went. So we're going to see if I fill it out this time. This would also be a cute page to add the 2026 to. No, not with that background though. Why is this so much bigger? Hold the phone. Okay, maybe I did my vellums and stuff one stitch too big. Did I do them all a little bit too big? Possibly. They have one too many coils. Okay, so lesson learned. All of these are going to have to be cut down, which in a way works out perfectly because if you can see some of these, when I punch them, they went over the top. So I need to get my paper cutter because all of these are going to have to be cut down one spiral. I did them a little bit too big when I printed them. All right, that's fine. But I will need to start putting these in where they're going to go. And so just to walk you through the things that I put in here, I grabbed this from Pinterest. Everything, I'm so lucky, everything works out for me. This is like affirmations that I want to believe. And so I thought that would be perfect with a picture of myself, just because it will be a reminder every time I see it of oh, look at her. She's such a lucky girl. I don't know. Mindset tricks. I also have this one that says family adventure. It printed a little darker than I hoped it would, but it's still cute. This is all photos from our 1 month, like 24-day road trip this summer, and I need to cut it down because it's too big, but I put my vision board on the back. And again, I have a new printer and I feel like the printer is amazing, but for some reason it did not print these photos as nicely as I wanted. So I could go and alter them, but I'm not going to. I also got this off of Pinterest, Get Glowing, The World Needs Your Magic. So I'm going to paste these pictures together so that it becomes kind of a vision board spread. So that is going to go early on in the planner. I have a picture from a few years ago. You guys, Andrew, look at this. He's taller than me now, my son. This was a few summers ago, just like 2 years ago, maybe 3, maybe not summer. This might have been spring break. But I just took this quote from Pinterest. I love my life and I'm grateful for everything I have. More just as I play in this planner and use it, I want to have this feeling of I'm so grateful, I'm so happy, I'm taking care of myself kind of thing. This me in progress, this is what I'm going to call my Project 50. Thank you for everybody who gave your suggestions, but I am going to do a series of vlogs, or I'm planning to do a series of vlogs in 2026, tracking my progress of the things I want to change in my life and the ways I want to heal and the way I want to become the person I most want to be at 50. And I was going to call it Project 50, being Project 50 years old. But number one, that's not super relatable to everybody else who's not turning 50. You'd have to call it something Project 30, whatever you are. But also, there's a fitness challenge called Project 50. So I didn't want to like step on that toes or get caught in that search. So I kept thinking of it as, okay, I am a work in progress. So I'm going to call it me in progress. And I think that'll be really good. But I wanted to find a photo to go with that. And I don't know what I'm going to do there. But I also have this picture that is from a couple of years ago. And I just feel like it's like, I don't know. It's a good picture. And so I've created this on Canva of all the things that I want to feel like affirmations with my word of the year. So I've got that one. This one I had made in Canva as well. This is from when I first started my YouTube channel, and I just changed some of the words out. This again is all the things I want to be. And so that's bringing it into my life. I do need to grab my paper cutter and trim these just a little bit. So let me do that first. Okay. Now we got them trimmed. Let's start over. So we have the, do I want to just have it say life planner? There's a part of me that's wondering if I wouldn't rather have the me in progress right from the beginning, because that is going to be the title of the vlog. And then I could move this to another page. Because, if I'm trying to think about all of the like affirmations and other things that I want to pull in, it might be nice to just open the planner and there's the affirmations rather than this, even though I love this page. I mean, I could put both of them here, but I am kind of leaning towards just putting this right in the beginning. Maybe not the me in progress, but all of these affirmations right from the beginning. That might be a cool way to start the planner. So then we'd have this, and I would probably just glue this down so that it turns straight to here. Then we could have this with the 2026 on the calendar, and I like that. Then we've got the opening of January, and I could just put this right here because I don't have a picture to go underneath this. So it's kind of a, here's what I'm going to do. Let's see if, so I have these pages. I don't think I need a ton of them, but I think I'm going to take this me in progress and I'm going to put it right before January. And I'm going to, I really want more clear pages, not, I think I'm going to have to take apart one of the main just pages. Let's see if I have any. Most of these have things on the back of them or, various. Okay, we're going to take apart a lined notebook. So be right back. Okay, just took apart one of the notebooks so that I have just the lined paper in and of itself. And I'm going to put this me in progress. And then here I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 note pages so that I can just do any little goals that I have for the first 6 months or for the year. I have a feeling this is going to be a 6-month planner, and then I'll redo it for the second half of the year. So 6 pages that I can journal about what I'm going to do. Then I've got the monthly spread, and we have this dashboard page. So this would be another good place to either add one of the vellums or one of the photos, like I love my life and I'm so grateful. So maybe we add this one with the kids in here. And then we have the memory keeping. And so one of the things to think about, since I have both the academic planner and the vertical, is what's the order I want to put these in. And I'm not going to use these like deadline trackers and things like that, but I do want to use the weekly pages. So I'm going to just take the pages that I want, but not these monthly pages. Now, this deadline tracker I'm not going to use, but it is on the other side of the page that I need. So then when you're making a Franken planner, obviously you're going to end up with pages you don't need that are, arranged sort of differently. So I have 2 options here. I could put this tracker first. Then what I could do is glue this picture down on the other side of this so that it just hides this page that I don't need. And when we turn it, we're right into the weekly spread. Then at the end, you would have one page in between, which I could add a few more notes pages or any other little fitness trackers or anything I printed before I do the memory keeping. But I think I'm just going to leave this one empty page, because in previous Franken planners, I have added project pages and other things like that here. Well, actually, I wonder about the project page for the cleaning. This might be a good place for it, but I think I'm just going to leave it. So we've got some of these. I will just glue these down when I actually coil it. So then we'll go into the memory keeping side of it. And then once we get to the end of January, we have this one page where we have a new month. So the question is, do I want at this point to put the January pages from the horizontal so that I can do some journaling? I'm going to go with my intuition here and say I'm not going to use that. If I want to journal, I can do it on blank pages, or I can do it in my actual journal. But I don't think I need it in this planner. And since I have an 18-month coil, I think I would rather use that extra space with notes pages more so than the like already lined paper pages. So we've got a decision made. And now the decision here is, do I want to add wrap up pages here where I could do some additional thoughts or journaling about how the month went or what my goals are for the month ahead before I move into the new month? And do I want to add any of these extra photos? So I didn't do it yet, but I did create, I haven't put it into the planner yet, but I did create this vision board that actually is going to go this way for a spread. This also would make kind of more sense at the beginning of the planner than it would later in the planner. But I'm going to hold off. I might move it back to the beginning, or I might put it like after the first quarter, just so it's not heavy on pictures at the beginning. But I think I'm going to we're going to do another 6 plain notebook pages and just put those here. And then I am going to let's see where I can find them. I'm going to find some of those project planner pages, and we're going to add them if I can find them. Give me just a moment. So here we have just a couple of notes pages. So actually maybe I don't need all of these. We do 1, 2 notes pages. Then this is where for the month I can track one progress thing when it comes to the cleaning. And I only need one project here because I'm only going to focus on one major project. So then we can maybe do 2 more notes pages, and that should be enough. And I'll actually put it before the project pages. So that is settled. Then we have February, and we're going to do, oh, I already forgot what I did. Okay, so we did this first. We did the monthly spread. Now we need academic. So I'm going to go over to the academic planner, and we're going to grab these pages. So, like I said, we've got this deadline tracker, which technically I don't need because I'm not in school. This could be a way, though, if I wanted to use this with this, that I could use, instead of gluing those pages together, I could use this deadline tracker as like a fitness tracker. So I could see at a glance for the whole month how many days I did work out. So for now, we'll just leave that as is. And that will go straight into the vertical pages. And now we have this again. So I'm going to follow that same pattern and do the project page for whatever cleaning, organizing project I will have for the month. And then we'll do 3 notes pages. So I'm just going to follow that pattern. We have March. And it's like so many of these decisions. So if we look at this March, this mustard yellow is not my favorite color. I much prefer this blue. So there's a part of me that's like, should I just get rid of Kuromi for this month? But I will not. I will not. But I'm tempted. If you like a more minimal layout to the monthly, the academic planner has a really nice minimal, whereas the Hello Kitty obviously has stuff on it. Okay, so here's the March pages that will go right here. Then we move into the vertical planner, and then we can put a project down and 3 notes pages. I feel like that is a good planner. So this gives me 3 months, and I'm just gonna keep going with it. Let's roll it. Now, in between, though, once I finish this quarter, this will be all of Q1. I think here is where I will add in my vision board. So we'll put this in like that. And then here we'll move April over from the academic planner. Then we've got the vertical pages. This is the first half of the year, and then we have the second half of the year here. And I think I am just going to pull these stickers out and the folder back here. And we're going to kind of look at what we have so far in terms of the size of this planner versus our coil. So what I do is I typically just kind of pull it up. There's still a lot of space on this. So then the question becomes, I don't think that I could do double this and fit it on even an 18-month coil. So I think what we're going to do is mostly notes pages. There are other types of pages here that I could use. Like I do like the checklist pages. So I think I'm going to grab a few of those out. I have these priorities pages, but I don't think I'm going to use that in here. So give me just a minute and I'm going to grab these pages. Okay. So at the back of the planner, I'm going to put notes checklist. These are just a handful of those checklist pages. Then we're going to put these perpetual calendar notes. And we're going to put, I was thinking maybe some graph, but I think that might be enough to go on this coil. So I think we've got enough. I just want to put in these pages that I printed. I think I might just leave this, even though it's pretty, for next 6 months. And so I just have these two. So I think I will put them at the back of the main planner. I'll put this lucky one here before all the checklist pages. Oh, that's the project page. Hold on. So put that here. And then where to put this one that says Sarah. I think maybe we'll just stick it here before May. Call it a day. So that is the planner. And I feel pretty good about it. So 6-month planner with some of my own stuff, extra notes pages, an academic planner, and a vertical planner. And we're going to put it on this coil this way. And that's going to take just a minute to do. This is the most tedious part of it, especially when you've created your own pages, because they're not going to be as uniform as the Erin Condren pages. So sometimes you have to finagle it to get them exactly right. And this is going to be pretty thick on this coil, but I think it will fit. So now I have to take this side of the coil and start at the top and coil it down to the bottom, and then I'll just fold them under. So the way that I typically do this, some people will put a clip on here. I don't do that because I find the clip to actually be restrictive. So I will just start with a piece of the planner and go ahead and get it coiled in, because I want to make sure that all of these extra pages that I printed are not getting skipped anywhere. Because they're not entirely uniform. So that way I can make sure they're all going in and that every page is accounted for. So this is typically where I start. And once you have this first one coiled in, the rest of it becomes a lot easier. See how, like, because I printed these myself and they're not uniform to the EC pages, you kind of have to double check, because if you just try to put everything, what has happened to me before is then when I've tried to put everything on the coil at once, I've realized some of the pages didn't get fully coiled in, and then I have to redo it, which is already such a tedious process. Like, I've been recording this whole thing for you guys, so you can kind of see it's about an hour-and-a-half process to get all of this done. Plus, I, took an hour or two to decide which photos I wanted to go in it, which planners I wanted to use with it, and that sort of thing. So it is a lengthy process, but for me, it is worth it and rewarding. This is also such a great thing to do if you have previous years planners or notebooks that didn't fully get used all the way and you still want to make use of those pages, it's a great way to sort of reuse, recycle, because you can just take any date dot kit, and Erin Condren does sell date dots as well, and you can just redate them. And I know that's not always a preferable thing for people who don't like to redate, but it does keep you from wasting pages. And I do enjoy that. We're getting there, you guys. Okay. Okay, so that is making sure that every page is coiled in, and now it should be a little easier to just punch through. If you really want to make sure that you don't damage any of the pages in the process, you need to make sure that this edge of the coil is, this one has a really sharp point, so you might want to file that down if you really want to be careful, but I'm not that precise of a person. And as long as it works, I'm happy, and I don't worry if some of the pages are slightly torn inside, but that is just me. That's my personality. I'm a perfectionist in some things, but not when it comes to the details of the planner. I'd rather just overall it looks good, but make sure you are making it in such a way it's not going to bother you later. Okay, I'm going to go off camera and finish coiling this up because it's easier to do without the camera, and then we'll do a final flip. Oh my gosh. Okay, I love it. It is quite perfectly fit onto the coil. Maybe a little bit too much, like a little bit chunky, but I did record the time, and it took me exactly 6 minutes to coil this. So like I said, it is a little bit tedious. It will start to hurt your fingers. If you have arthritis in your hands, you probably don't want to do this process because it is tedious, but it's also very rewarding if you like creating custom planners. But you could do this same sort of process if you have pain in your hands. You could do the same sort of process with a disc system or an A5 system or something like that. But I love having the coil so that you can bend it back on itself. And I love it. It makes me very happy. So the final pieces of this process are you just take whichever one you didn't fully move, and you just, oh my gosh, sometimes I have to switch which one I'm using. You just sort of bend it back in so that looks nice. And I usually put the one that's more mangled onto the bottom. And I've used this particular coil 3 or 4 times, so it's pretty mangled at this point, but you just kind of angle it back inside the planner so that it's not in the way of turning the pages, and voila, you have your new planner. And then of course you choose which cover you want. And I think I'm going to use this cover that says 2026. I think this will be the first cover that I use. I love the pink, and it's going to look so cute with the colorful coil. And you just push that down, and now you've replaced. How pretty is this? And I've got the actual coil in the photo too. I do, as I'm using this, I'm like, oh, I probably put about 10 to 20 too many pages in this thing, especially because I'm going to be filling it up with stickers. This thing is going to be chunky after the year, but it does lay flat. It looks very nice, and I am extremely happy with the end product. So let's do a little flip. I have my affirmations and a picture of myself to remind myself of who I'm becoming. Then I've got my life planner page with the Hello Kitty and the calendar, and see how this isn't fully moving. So sometimes you have to kind of say, okay, let's try to bend that back up to make sure, because you can see it's leaning down. I'm going to need to fix that because otherwise it's going to start to drive me crazy. I don't know. I'm probably going to have to mess with it off camera because it's just harder to do all this stuff on when someone's watching. This particular vellum paper, by the way, is very thin. So this is the first time I've used this one because it's thinner so I can fit more. And I have noticed this one looks fine, but one of the other ones that I used tore already. So if you buy the one I recommend, I'm going to put two down in the description. One is lighter and one is a thicker. I think one is 80 GSM and the other's 160. So we have these journaling pages for the Me in Progress vlogs. I've got my January monthly, and then picture of me and the kids with the deadline tracker here that I might use for workouts or I might glue on to the side. I've got my stickers that will go here. These are going to go in the pocket at the back of the planner, so they're always with the planner. And then I'm going to be tracking my mindfulness and all those things that I mentioned on these first pages. Then I've got a little bit of a journaling page here if I want to put pictures or I want to journal about how the month's going so far. And then I have this vertical page that I will use with the weekly stickers to track my gaming and fun and refilling the well, so that I am intentionally, like, the purpose of this is obviously a memory keeper, but also mostly just to make sure that I am intentionally spending time with my family and off of work. Then at the back, I have those handful of plain pages for any journaling or notes I want to take or any planning I want to do. And then I have a project spread for the month for any one major cleaning project. I'm not going to do more than one a month. So, like I said, 1st of January is that closet bathroom area, and then we'll move into other spaces in the house. And that is basically the system of the planner. And then throughout a few pages, so after the first 3 months, I have this. I will glue these pages together so that I'll have a nice spread of my vision board. And then we'll move into Q2 with that same process. Some more photos of me and affirmations. Then we have May, and then we have June. And then at the end of June, we have one more little coil picture, the gist pages. So I probably will take one of these pages like this and put this here so that I can always find it. So we'll have one gist list section, and then we have notes pages here. So I will put this one. Isn't this so pretty with this coil too? I just feel like these colors turned out so nice. And I probably will not use this final divider because I don't think I need it. If you like to use dividers or rulers, then you can also, they have these little bookmarks so you can mark the date or the week that you're on. I like to make good, oh my gosh, these pages got mangled. I do like to make use of, oh, you guys, I don't know if I'm going to be able to use those dividers in here. It makes it too chunky. It's coming out. It's coming out. That added too much bulk. So we're probably just going to use these instead, or I will use bow tabs on the papers themselves, because I think once I start adding, oh my gosh, I think once I start adding photos to this, it's just going to get too chunky. Right now it moves just fine, but if it gets too chunky with these dividers, I won't be able to use it. But they look so pretty with the colors of the planner, but it's not going to work out. But you can take these types of little coils, you can use bookmarks that coil in, or you can use tab dividers or other things like that. You can even just use sticky notes coming off the side. But that is my health and wellness / me in progress planner for 2026. This was a long one, I know. So let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you made it to the end. Put your favorite New Year emoji, a champagne glass, a celebratory confetti, something like that for the new year. And that way I know you watched all the way through. Also, I want to just announce that I am running a new membership in 2026 called the Follow Through Fix. So if you have been somebody like me who has big goals, but you just find year after year that you're not always aware, you're not always intentional, you're either getting overwhelmed and burned out and not spending enough time balanced with yourself, or you have all the plans, but you're just not following through. We've got a brand new membership. It's called the Follow Through Fix, and it's currently early bird pricing. You can find all the information at the link in the description. And if you're on my newsletter list, I sent you an email as well. The price goes up January 1st. We start on January 4th. So you just have a little over a week to get in. You can join anytime throughout the year, but you can find all the details of it in the email today, as well as over on the main page to learn about it. We already have over 130 people in so far, and they're all alumni of my courses, but I would like to invite all of you to join, even if you haven't taken one of my classes before, if you need a little bit more support and accountability in 2026. And I will be sharing more in my next video about that. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, what do you think of the new planner? I'm so excited. Pocket planner setup coming soon. I super love you guys, and I will see you in just a few days for that next setup. Bye, everybody.